We're going to use this session to record a little idea and technique I'm using with WebFOCUS portal. So one option to run reports is usually to use the WebFOCUS Hub. Go to the workspaces in here, and in workspaces, just browse the tree of information, navigate your reports, find the report you're looking to use, so you can navigate in here. But if you're a pure consumer, you might be confused and you might not need all the rest of the information in here. Of course, you can completely white label it here, so you can change colors, you can change logos in here. But sometimes I prefer to work with a portal. So if we go to my content section in here, we can start to build our own little portal. So usually a portal, if you want to go for a portal, usually looks something like a very specific page with information. So you can use the portal to have some type of navigation on top of your screen and work with that one. So this being a very typical portal. So again, you got some logos in here. You can work with the navigation. Of course, you can change and replace logos. You can change colors of all the elements on the page. So I added a little red stripe in here. I changed colors in here. So you can use that as a typical consumer type of portal. But you can also combination of hub like that navigation with a portal. So instead of using that portal, we can go to plus here, go to application, and we're going to create a new portal. And that new portal is going to be like, let's going to call it hub like portal. So we can create it in here. Whenever you create a portal, by the way, that's the 936 portal editor, the old one, or the older versions. The portal editor might look a little bit different, but it's going to have the same functionality. So I got my portal in here. I can change the theme. So in case I don't like that designer thing in here, I can go to my my finance type of portal. So there's my finance portal, or I can go to my Fintoso financial portal. So changing that one is going to change colors. Preview is not going to automatically show a preview all the time. So you might need to refresh it, or you just simply run it. If you do so, you see here, there's my hub-like portal, not much content, still an IBI logo. So you can change it in here. So in case you want to change the banner is that area in here. So I can, instead of using that standard logo, I can remove the logo. I can go for a custom logo. So if I go for a custom logo, I can move to my images section in here, and I'm going to take something like my Fintoso logo from here. So now we got Fintoso Financial in here. We got that element in here. I can also add some pages in here. So in here, I can add navigation sections. I can change the navigation. So let me change the navigation in here. So the navigation should be a top navigation. So we can add navigation bars in here. For the navigation bars, we can add elements in here. So I can use an existing page. So we can go to my WebFOCUS, content, there's pages. So I can use something like my overview page in here and link it from here. So that's going to add some content. So I got a content page in here. Again, I can turn on live preview in the elements in here, or I just can check it and run it. So doing so, we're now going to get our hub-like portal with having that overview tab with some navigation. There's my user thing with a lot of selections in here. So I want to continue to change it. So we keep the thing in here, but on that banner on top here, that navigation thing, which is the user menu in here, I can completely turn it off, or I can keep it in there and just tell the system I only want to have the capability in here to sign out and nothing else. So doing so, now that portal is still in the banner, going to have my user menu, but that user menu only now has a sign out functionality and shows my username, nothing else. I can also, instead of adding content, I can add whatever I want to in here. So I can also create a completely new page in here. So in that navigation in here, instead of selecting something existing, I can create a new page in here. And that new page that I just created in here, I can edit from here. And I want that new page not to display any reports. So instead of adding reports to that page here, I'm going to go to the content, and I can again add existing content in here, or I can go to controls, and in controls I can add something like calendar controls. So there's navigation controls. Container is the most interesting one, because here I can add tabs for reports, or I can add the Explorer. I personally like to make it as big as possible, which is that button here. Actually, I don't need a heading in here because that's useless information. So we can go over here. You see in here for the container itself, I don't need container. I don't need those controls. So I can turn off title. I can turn off the toolbar, get rid of those elements in here. So minimum. So now I want to get rid of that one. So I click on that one. So I can tell it, hey, I don't want to see a portal head. No toolbar. So I turn off everything that I don't need, and I just have a simple navigational control in here. So we can save it. Of course, I can close it from here. If it's called page one, I don't like page one as a name. So that's my hub like page. So I do have a few typos in here. So let's fix those typos. Click on save. We got that one. We move it to the left in here. So now we created that control here. So now I got a hub-like page that starts my elements. So in here, I can now navigate my reports. So I can go in here, go to the content element. In here, I see all my reports. I have all the features in here that I have in the hub. So I got a full hub in here. Difference, the plus doesn't exist. So you have to go to plus in here and select designer from here if you want to create anything. But that's the only difference to the full hub. But I can now customize the banner, the navigation in the banner. I can add some content in here. So what I like and what a bunch of customers do is going back to my hub, I'm creating a new page. So clicking on new page, adding that new page in here as the first one. And that's now my start or home or whatever you want to call it. And that page actually here, yes, I want to save those changes. I can click on it. I can edit it. And I can use that page for whatever I actually want to do. So in here on the containers, I can add containers. So like I can add something in here like a placeholder, a link title, a tile. So if I add a link tile in here, a link tile is just something where I can add a logo or a text. I already create a video on link tile. So if you search for the link tile, you're going to get more content in here. So you can, that one here can be any static content like, hey, message of the day, or actually I want to make it in here. I can turn on the tail bar, make it as big as I want to. So that's here my message of the day, message of the day. And I can add whatever content I want to in here, a static HTML page, a report, whatever I want to have it as my starting page, so to say. So if I go back to my elements in here, I can also link it to an existing web page. So I can go to content in here. And in here, let me go in here and go to content. In here on other, you can add an URL. So that's going to be an URL. So that's going to be, the title is going to be IBI. The URL is going to be HTTP. Oh, let's use community.ibi webfocusHub.com. So that's community. So we're gonna add community in here. Okay. So now I got a link to community. Actually, it's community. So let me fix that little typo here. So community, and save. Now we got it in here. We can publish it from here. And we can go back to my hub-like portal in here, to my start page. And in here, I can go to content now. And I can use that link tile in here, or if I don't like a link tile, I can also get rid of the link tile. And instead of the link tile, I'm gonna go to container and I'm gonna add a basic container, max it out in here, hide the title, hide the toolbar. And now I'm gonna go to content, go to that one, and there's the community, hopefully somewhere. I hope I can remember. If you can't, you can search for it. Where did I put community? I put it under content. Okay, let me see. community.ibi.com. So you can navigate one level up, go back into content. That's going to refresh that list. So we got community, drag and drop it on the screen. There we go. We can save it as it is. And from now on, our hub-like portal is going to look like that. So it's going to load from here, and it's going to have a representation of the IBI community in here. Of course, that can be any internal page as well. So I got my hub-like page, I got my overview. We might want to change the order of the elements. So in case you want to have start to be loaded first. So I was calling it start, so I want it to be the start page. So, but you see the content in here. Let's go back in here, go to portal. On those elements, if you want to change something in here, you got my start element, you got my hub-like page in here. So we have all those elements in my list. So we can work on those elements in here. You got the entries in here. So if I go one level back in here, so go back to your portals in here. There's my hub-like portal. Navigate that one. There's the order. That's the order of the elements. So it's hub, overview, and start. If you want to change the order, click on the elements, go to advanced in here. And on those elements, you're going to be able to change the sort order. So I want start to be 100 as a position. I want the hub-like page. Yes, I'm going to save you. I want the hub-like page to be 200. So it's just a numeric order. You see, it's changing the elements. So overview in here is currently on that list, not yet listed. So you might want to go back to the page itself. Or if you want to trick it a little bit, you can also work with negative numbers in here. So set it to -100. So it's moving to the left. So those numeric things are going to allow you to change the elements. So going back to my hub-like portal, refreshing it from here. We need to look into the numbers again. We didn't change the order correctly, you see, but now hub-like page is the start page. So you can easily build something that is looking like the workspace, the regular WebFOCUS Hub, but it's going to be a portal that going to get you more ways to customize your elements the way you want them to be customized. That's it for my little session.